on the subject of DEI, which you also mentioned in your speech, as you know, nearly all of the spending programs passed in recent years. Now, Ms. Harris was the deciding vote in the $1.9 trillion, whatever it was, American Relief Plan in 2021. That was one of the precursors of the inflation, and she was the deciding vote in the misnamed Inflation Reduction Plan. That was another inflationary bill. On the other hand, in those bills and other bills, including the CHIPS bill, including the infrastructure bill, there were DEI regulatory specifications throughout those bills. There's a story that runs, it's pretty well out there now. For the Federal Communications Commission, let's see if I get this right, 40-some-odd billion dollars was appropriated to the purposes of connecting rural broadband and so forth. We looked at, I had those accounts at the NEC. I would have known how to spend $40 billion. But the point is, they haven't spent a nickel. Not one nickel has been spent of that so-called $40 billion coming out of that bill because they're not meeting all of the regulatory, including the DEI specifications. And, cable providers and other service providers are just throwing up their hands so we can't play because we can't do this.
It implodes on
$40 billion.
Itself. Yeah.
Not a nickel's been spent. I know the one about the electric chargers. They haven't spent even $7 billion or something like that. Anyway, no electric charge. But this is another one. Either you change the regs, just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it.
Well, that's what
save taxpayers a nickel.
That's what we will do. They have infused ESG, Promise? DEI, all this nonsense into all the government programs, so they don't work, and it implodes on its own weight, and that's a completely foreseeable outcome of this nonsense. Look, when you're talking about lending and retirement accounts. Under the Trump administration, there were some great rules made to prevent all that. The Biden and Harris administration reversed it. When you go to a bank, you don't want a liberal bank or a conservative bank, an activist bank, a social justice warrior bank. You want a good bank. You want ones that will handle your money right.
No,
you want a fiduciary. You don't want a social justice warrior. They're trying to infuse their ideology and their woke left policies into everything, and it destroys everything that it infects. We have the evidence now to prove that. These are not theories anymore. We can show that these programs don't work because of their madness.
Well, the other part is, it's worth a try that obligated but unspent funds can be completely rescinded. Yes. I think you mentioned the stupid IRA bill.
Yes.
That could be up to $1 trillion. The student loans, that could be $500-600 billion. You add it up, it's real money. You're going to need the money because I'm going to get the Trump tax cuts 2.0 in a minute. But these things, if it's obligated, if it's authorized but not spent, right? Take it out.
Exactly.
Pull it back.
And what we talk a lot about is if we get unified government again, we want to be very aggressive. I think we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with the overturning of the Chevron doctrine to claw back Article 1 authority, speaking of the Constitution, to the legislative branch. And we work on that very aggressively. And also, we need to authorize before we spend. That's the way this is supposed to work. Congress hasn't done that in a long, long time. So you can save a lot of taxpayer funds if you do it more responsibly. We have aggressive plans to do that.
If you don't, we're going to sick Elon Musk on you.
No, I had Elon in my office 6 or 7 weeks ago.
He's ready.
Oh, he's ready to roll.
He's ready. He's got itchy fingers. That's what we need, itchy fingers.